Welcome back. Still with the countdown. As you told you, a virtually flat closing for the market. Mehraboon is still with us. But before we go any further, let's just get a quick clarification from Gujarat Nari Coke. The Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Arun Kumar Jagatramka, joins in on that press release that they have issued where they have challenged various grounds of the DRHP of Austral Coke and Projects Limited, the IPO that's opened up today. Mr. Jagatramka, good afternoon. Thanks for joining in. What is your biggest bone of contention with this issue that's open at this point?
The thing is, they have misstated the capacity and overstated the financials in a very big way. What it does, it compares their financials with our financials, which are not on an equal footing. They are having two chimneys, which gives a capacity of 70,000 tons. But they've overstated the capacity to something like 375,000 tons, and then comparing the company on a peer evaluation with our company and making claims that their IPO pricing is much cheaper than what our current pricing is, which has enraged most of our investors. And I got calls and emails from most of our investors that the company needs to clarify that there is something fishy going on. And I was, because their plant is next door to our plant in Bachau in Gujarat, and I was in my plant last Monday. I can clearly see two chimneys are operational, third, fourth are under construction. And in the prospectus they mentioned there are 4 chimneys fully installed and under production.
Mr.
And that is a blatant lie, which I have never seen anybody making such a misstatement in a public document like prospectus.
Would you accept that they're at least in the same line of business as you, even though the scale of the operations may be completely different? But
Yes,
would you?
they are.
They are. So I'm just curious, if they are in the same line of business as you are, why would you take objection to them actually comparing you to peers? Even though the scale of the operations may be different.
I'm not taking objection of for them comparing me as peers.
I thought
what I'm saying is you are not converting or you are not comparing apple to apple.
No, that's fair.
You are taking an skewed and distorted financials to compare with our financials.
But Mr. Jagatramka,
that
that's
is where
fair.
I have taken objection to.
That's fair, Mr. Jagatramka. But from where I see it, I think that's a call that the retail investor or the investment banker of the company has to take. I don't see any.
How do they take a call unless somebody like me tells them the ground reality?
No, no, Mr. Jagatramka, it is a company that's...
I would like to ask the merchant bankers, Rollback Finance, have they done a due diligence? Have they gone to the plant? Have they seen the 4 chimneys before signing on the prospectus? I challenge them. Let them go tomorrow and say publicly that yes, the company has 4 chimneys and so many ovens as mentioned in the prospectus in existence today.
Mr. Jagatramka, I'm still not understanding what the bone of contention here is. Are you worried that your valuations that your stock commands, if I can just finish making my point, sir, are you worried that the valuations that your stock is commanding at current levels comes under threat because of what this company has stated in its DRHP?
No, I'm not worried on these trivial counts. Please,
then the entire allegation becomes baseless, Mr. Jagatramka.
Let me clarify a bit
Please.
here. The thing is, let me tell you my background. I have been chairing the Integrity India subcommittee in CII, and I have been making a campaign on improving the integrity of the nation as a whole. And I am a very strong believer that if we have to weed out corruption, we have to weed out what is in front of us. And public as a whole, we don't object if something wrong is going on in front of our eyes.
Can I make a statement here, Mr. Jagatramka?
Tell me.
You use the word integrity, and I am not speaking in defense of the other company that's here. Please don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to take a very objective position. This is a DRHP. Mr. Jagatramka, if I can make my point. This is a DRHP that was not printed yesterday and issued to shareholders today. Why have you chosen today, the day the IPO opens, to respond to this? It baffles logic as to why you would choose today. And you would... No, hang on.
No, very correct. I was in Australia till last week. I landed in Calcutta last night at 11. You can have my travel plans checked.
I don't know.
Came to the office
I trust
in the
you
morning,
completely on that, sir. But
saw the papers lying on my table and went through it and then chose to what I have done.
Let me reverse the procedure, sir. Would you not find it absolutely bizarre if you were coming out with a DRHP, if you were coming out with an IPO, and the day your IPO opened, is the day someone took objection to something that came out in the DRHP. This DRHP and the merchant bankers has been in the process for weeks on end. It seems a little bizarre. You're using the word integrity and then sending such a strong press release on the day of an issue does not add up.
I don't get you. I have told you I was out of the country for the last month.
Are you trying to say that you are the only person from entire Gujarat Inari Coke that would have picked up this DRHP and read it? Nobody else from the board of directors would have read it.
No, the thing is, let me tell you, it is a big decision which has to be taken in a collective manner. And yes, the people were knowing that things are wrong in the prospectus. And the earlier draft prospectus mentioned only 2 chimneys, which we had seen.
Is
the
that,
DRH, yeah.
That is exactly my point, Mr. Jagat Ramka. I think that is a call that people who are investing in the company should take. Would you not agree with that?
No, that's what I'm saying. The draft prospectus, which was on the SEBI website, which I have seen in 1st week July, that had mentioned only 2 chimneys. And the printed prospectus, which I saw today, mentions 4 chimneys.
Okay. Just want to sum this up, Mr. Jagat Ramka. I think since we're running a little bit out of time,
yeah.
So you have no objection to the fact that if they claim that they're in the same line of business with you, they are not wrong in saying that, even though the scale of operations is different.
Absolutely none.
Fair. You're saying that you were out of the country and you believe that you are the only person who's read this DRHP and found objections with it. Fair?
No. What I told was a collective decision was required before a listed company like ours gets involved in making a complaint of this nature.
And this collective decision could not have been arrived at a week, 10 days, or perhaps even 15 days prior to today.
No, it was not practical.
Right, Mr. Jagat Ramka, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts. That's Gujarat Inari Coke, the listed entity that is involved. Still doesn't add up. Still defies all logic as to why the company has gone ahead and did what it did. At least for a person of my education, it makes no sense to me. Perhaps there are people out there that would probably choose to justify it. But Mehraboon, just want to get your closing thoughts on the market here on as well. If you're looking ahead for the rest of the August series, we tested an intermittent high of roughly about 17.5. We've gone up to as low as 12.5. At the end of this August series, where do you think a realistic end of this would be? I know you don't like pegging levels, but a directional call nonetheless?
I would say, Rahul, I put it this way, and I'm not being diplomatic in my answer to your question, because that is a straight question you're asking as to where do I see August ending. The fact is, I personally feel the next 2-3 months are going to be difficult for the market. And if we come out of it possibly with our heads high in terms of not making a new bottom, I think possibly the market, the level at which we had gone would be the bottom, which could remain the bottom for quite some time to come, because allow me to state, I personally feel with the leg effect, what has happened, I think they could have a tough time maybe up to October at least. So till that time, I would be a little bit wary of this market, but use only sharp dips as lovely buying opportunities. Because at the present level, Rahul, while I state that every level provides buying opportunity, I personally feel the buying opportunity becomes fewer as we go up. And allow me to say that there was a lot of skill in identifying stocks which would be relatively immune to the other macro risks which are still attached to the Indian economy.
I don't want to get you into a controversy, Mehraboon, but we just saw the first response from Gujarat Inari Coke to that issue. Did you read anything into it?
Well, it's not fair to pass a comment, but I think, Rahul, I fully agree with you. In fact, I was admiring the way you were asking him the question as to, at a time where communication, the level of communication really improved in this country, somebody is stating that since I was out of the country, I couldn't take action. I think, well, it doesn't sound great, honestly, no. I personally feel he is not coming out of the right fact. Yes, possibly he was in Australia, but even if he was in Australia, definitely, if he wanted to take action, he could have taken action even from there.
Right, Mehraboon. We'll leave it at that. A pleasure speaking with you as always. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll head into a break, come back, wrap up the internals of the market for you. Stay tuned.